What do you mean by Dhyan Yoga? Dhyan Yoga. Today I am telling you about Bhagavad Gita, a spiritual meditation by Bhagavad Gita, chapter Dhyan Yoga. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Anasritah karma phalang karya karm karoti ya न सन्यासी च योगी च न निरंग्रिनं चक्रिय अर्थात means the supreme personality of Godhead said, one who is attached in the fruits of his work and who works as he obliged in this is in the renounced order of life, and he is the true mystic, not he who light no fear and perform to duty. In this chapter of the Lord explained that process of the eightfold yoga system is means to control the mind and the sense. However, this is very difficult for people in general to perform, especially in the age of Kali. Although the eightfold yoga system is recommended in this chapter, the Lord emphasized and processed of Krishna Yoga, the Karma Yoga or acting is Krishna consciousness is better. Everyone it's the world to maintain his family and their paraphernalia, but no one is working without some self-interest, some personal gratification, be it concentrate or extended. The criterion or perfection is to act in Krishna consciousness and not with a view to enjoying the fruit of work. To act of Krishna consciousness is the duty of every living entity, because all are constitutionally parts and particle and parcel of the Supreme. The parts of the body work for satisfaction of the whole body. The limbs of the body do not act for self-satisfaction, but for the satisfaction of the complete whole. Similarly, the living entity who act the satisfaction of the supreme whole and not for personal satisfaction is perfect sannyasi, the perfect yogi. The sannyasi sometimes artificial think that they have become liberated from all material duties. Therefore they case to perform anihotriya, but actually they are self-interested, because their goal is to become one with the impersonal Brahman. Such a desire is greater than any material desire, but it is not without self-interest. Similarly, the mystic yogi who practiced the yoga system with the half-open eyes, easing of material activities, desires some satisfaction for his personal self. But a person acting in Krishna consciousness work for the satisfaction of the whole without self-interest. A Krishna consciousness person has no desire for self-satisfaction. It's completely you have known. His certain success is the satisfaction of Krishna, and thus he is the perfect sannyasi, the perfect yogi, Lord Chaitanya, the highest perfectional symbol of renunciation. Pray in this way. Na dharma, na gyan, na sundaram, kavitam, va jagam, ishak, karmam, nama, janam, janmani, janmani seva, sarva, bhagavat, bhavatet, bhaktir, ahututi tave. O all my Lord, I have no desire accumulate wealth, no to enjoy because beautiful woman, nor to enjoy beautiful woman, nor do I want any number of followers. What I want only the casualest mercy of your devotional service in my life, birth after birth. Next, na sanyashamiti prahuryogam tam vidhi pandava na harasyang natsta sankalpo yogi bhavati kaschanang. Arthat means what is called renunciation you should not to be same as yoga, looking oneself with the supreme one ocean of Pandu, for one can never become a yogi unless renounce the desire for sense gratification. Real sannyasa yoga, bhakti means that one should know his constitutional position of the living entity and act accordingly. This living entity has no separate independent identity. He is the marginal energy of the Supreme. When he is interrupted by material energy, he is conditioned, and when he is Krishna consciousness or aware of the spiritual energy, that then he is his real and natural state of life. Therefore, when one is in complete knowledge, one cases all material sense gratification, renounced all kinds of sense gratification gratificatory activity. This is practiced by the yogis who restrain the sense from material attachment. But a person in Krishna consciousness has no opportunity to engage his sense in anything which is not for the purpose of Krishna. Therefore, a Krishna consciousness person is simultaneously sannyasi and a yogi. The purpose of knowledge and of restraining the sense as prescribed in the Dhyan and yoga process is automatically served in the Krishna consciousness. If one is unable to give up the activities of his selfish nature, very nice to say in spiritual meditation, if one is unable to give up the activities of his selfish nature, then Dhyan, yoga are no avail. The real aim is for a living entity to give up all selfish satisfaction and to be prepared to satisfy the Supreme. A Krishna consciousness person has no desire for any kinds of self enjoyment. He is always engaged for the enjoyment of the Supreme. One who has no information of the Supreme must therefore be engaged in self satisfaction, because no one can stand on the platform of an activity. All purpose are perfectly served by the practice of Krishna consciousness. Very strongly, you have known this matter. And next, Arurukshormune Yogam Karma Karana Muchyate Yogarudhasya Tasyeva Shamah Karana Muchyate. That means who yoga system work in said to be means, and for one who already elevated in yoga, questions of all material activities is said to be the same. A process of linking oneself with the Supreme is called yoga. It may be compared to a ladder for attaining the topmost spiritual realization. This ladder begins from the lowest material condition of the living entity up and rise of the to perfect self-realization in pure spiritual life. According to verse elevation, different part of the ladder are known by different names, but all in one, the complete ladder is called yoga and may be divided into three parts, namely Jnana Yoga, Dhyan Yoga, even Bhakti Yoga. The beginning of the ladder is called Yoga state, and highest rung is called Yoga Ruddha. Concerning the eightfold yoga system, attempt in the beginning to enter into meditation through regulative principle of life and practice of different sitting postures, and all such activities lead to achieving perfect mental equilibrium to control the sense. When one is accomplished in the practice of meditation, he cases all disturbing mental activities. A Krishna conscious person, however, is situated from the beginning on the platform of meditation, because he always think of Krishna, and being constantly engaged in the service of Krishna, he is considered to have cast all material activity. Then next, according to Bhagavad Gita, yada hi nindriyartheshu na karmashvanu sasanjate sarva sankalpalya sannyasi yogarudastha dochyate. A person said to the elevated in yoga, what a person is fully engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. He is placed in himself, and thus he is longer engaged in sense of gratification or fruitive activities. Otherwise, he must be engaged in sense gratification, since one cannot live without engagement. Without Krishna consciousness, one must be always seeking certain or extended selfish activities. But a Krishna conscious person, can do everything for the satisfaction of Krishna and thereby perfectly detached from sense gratification. One who has no such realization must mechanically try to escape material desire before being elevated to the top rung of the yoga ladder. Next, उद्धारेदात्मनात्मानं नात्मानं वसादयेत आत्मैव ह्यात्मनो बन्धुरात्मैव रिपुरात्मनः. Means the words Atma denotes body, mind and soul, depending upon different circumstances in the yoga system. The mind and the conditioned soul are especially important since the mind is the central point of yoga practice. Atma refer here to the mind. Their purpose of the yoga system is to control the mind and draw it away from attachment to sense object. It is stressed herein that the mind must be trained that it can deliver the conditioned soul from the mere of niche science, and in material existence one is subjected to the influence of the mind and the sense. In fact, the pure soul is entangled in the material world because the mind is involved with the false ego, which desire to lord it over material nature. Therefore, the mind should be trained so that it will not attached by the glitter of material nature, and in this way the conditioned soul may be saved. One should not degrade oneself by attraction to sense object. The more one is attracted by sense object, the more one becomes entangled in the material existence. The best way to disentangle oneself is to always engage the mind in Krishna consciousness. The word he is used for emphasizing these points, AI that must do this, it is so said. For man minds, the cause of bondage of mind, in the cause of liberation, mind absorbed in sense objects is the cause of bondage, and mind attached from the sense object is cause of liberation. Next, बन्धुरात्मात्मनस्य तस्य येनात्मैवात्मना जितः अनात्मनस्तु शत्रुत्वे वर्तेतात्वयमेव शत्रुवत means the purpose of practicing eightfold yoga is to control the mind in order to make it friend in discharging of the human mission. Unless the mind can control the practice of yoga, one who cannot control his mind lives always with the greatest enemy, and this his life and its mission are spoiled. The constitutional position of the living entity is to carry out the order of the superior. As long as one's mind remains unconquered enemy, one has to serve the detections of lust, anger, arvic, illusion, etc. But when the mind is conquered on voluntarily agreed to avoid by the dictation of the personality of Godhead, who is situated within the heart of everyone as Paramatma. Real yoga practice entails meeting the Paramatma within the heart and then following his direction. For one who takes to Krishna consciousness directly, perfect surrender to the dictation of the Lord followers automatically. Next, Jitatmanam prashantasya paramatma shamahitam शीतोष्ण सुख दुखेषु तथा मानापमानयो. अर्थात एक्चुअली एवरी लिविंग entity is instanted to able by the dictation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is seated in everyone in heart as Paramatma. When the mind is by the external illusory energy, one becomes entangled in material activities. Therefore, as soon as mind is controlled through the yoga system, one should be considered to have already reached the dictations. One has to avoid by superior dictation when one's mind is fixed on the superior nature. He has no ultimate alternative but to follow the detection of the Supreme. The mind must admit some superior detection and follow it. The effect of controlling the mind is that one automatically follows the direction of the Paramatma, Supreme Soul, because this transcendental position is at once achieved by one who in Krishna consciousness. The devotee of the Lord is unaffected by the duty qualities of material existence, namely distress and happiness, cold and heat, etc. This state practical samadhi or absorption in the Supreme. Next, Jnana Vijnanatma Triyatma Kutastho Vijitendriya Yukta Yaktyuchyate Yogi Shamlokarashtra Smakanchanam. Means no one can understand the transcendental nature of the name from quality and pastime of Krishna through his materially contaminated sense. Only when one becomes spiritually started by transcendental service to the Lord or the transcendental name from quality and pastime of the Lord revealed to him. No one can become Krishna consciousness simply by mundane scholarship. One must be fortunate enough to associate with a person who is in pure consciousness. A Krishna conscious person has really realized knowledge by the grace of Krishna, because he is satisfied with pure devotional service. By realized knowledge, one becomes perfect. By transcendental knowledge, one can remain steady in his convictions. By mere academic knowledge, one can be easily deluded and confused by apparent contradictions in the realized soul, who is actually self-controlled because he is surrendered to Krishna. He is transcendental because he is nothing to do with mundane scholarship, and him mundane scholarship and material speculation, which may be as good as to other, one no greater value than pebbles of stones. Next, yogi yuchitang satata matmanang rahasi sthitam ekake yat chittatva nirisha parigraha. Means Krishna is realized in different degree as Brahman, Paramatma and Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna consciousness means consciously to be always engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, but those who are attached the impersonal Brahman of localized Supreme Soul of also Krishna consciousness, because the impersonal Brahman is the spiritual ray of Krishna, and super soul is the all preventing partial expansion of Krishna. Thus, the impressionalistic list and the meditator are also indirectly Krishna consciousness. A directly Krishna consciousness person is the topmost transcendentalist, because such a devotee known that it is means by Brahman and Paramatma. His knowledge of the absolute truth is perfect, whereas the impersonalist and the meditative yogi are imperfectly Krishna consciousness. Nevertheless, all these are instruct herewith the to be constantly engaged in their particular pursuit, so that they may come to the highest perfection sooner or later. The first business of a transcendental is to keep the mind always on Krishna. One should always think of Krishna, not forget him even for a moment. Concentrative concentration of the mind and the supreme is called samadhi or trance. In order concentrate the mind, one should always remain in seclusion and avoid disturbance by external objects. He should be very careful to accept forever and reject unfavorable conditions that affect his realization and perfect determination. He should not hanker under necessary material things that entangle him by feelings of possessiveness. All these perfection and practical perfect execute when one is directly in Krishna consciousness, because direct Krishna consciousness means self abnegative, wherein there is very little chance for material possessiveness. Srila Rupa Goswami characterized Krishna consciousness is the way. When one is to not attach to anything, but at the same time accept everything, the relation of Krishna, one is nightly situated above possessiveness, and on the other hand, one who rejects everything without knowledge of his relationship of Krishna is not complete in the renunciation. A Krishna consciousness person well known that everything belongs to Krishna, then thus he is always free from feelings and personal position. As such, he has no hankering for anything on his one personal accounts. He knows how to accept things in favor of Krishna consciousness and how to reject things unfavorable to Krishna consciousness. He is always aloof from material things because he is always transcendental, and he is always alone, having nothing to do with persons not in Krishna consciousness. Therefore, a person in Krishna consciousness is perfect yogi. Very clearly stated by Bhagavad Gita, Dhyan Yoga. When time is over, friends, please try to understand how to meditate by Bhagavad Gita and how to control in your mind. That's all. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.